1 Thunderace minus engine, and I shall go down now and show you what is wrong with the engine. So bear with me, down in my cellar. Right, this engine is from that bike upstairs, and it was bloody heavy getting it down as well. So let me just spin it round and I'll show you what is wrong with it. At first I was just going to give it a clean because it's manky. Right, all that, I was going to do all this, clean all this up, take it all off, take the alternator off, take the start motor off, clean it all up. It's all the aluminium's corroded. Somebody's tried bodging it with some sort of sealant. I was going to do all that. What I wanted to do was to make sure that the timing was set up right. So I took these end cases off. In there, in that one there, is in there. There's actually a mark on the end of the crank, and well, on one of the flywheel, it's like a big heavy weight on the crank. There's a mark in a T, and there's a bit of metal in there, like a mark, and you line them up. This is the end of the crank, and there is a special Yamaha tool to turn that. But I use my own tool. I put it in gear, and then I just use that to turn the engine over like that. Now when I'm doing it, I put it in 5th gear, because if you try and do it in 1st, you have no chance. So I put it in 5th gear to turn it over. Now what's supposed to happen is the piston is supposed to be at top dead centre. Now all I use, I haven't got a top dead centre tool, so I just use a screwdriver. And what is supposed to happen is the cam lobe goes that way, and this one is supposed to go the same. Now as you can clearly see, they're not, and this is why. Whilst the engine has been running, if you look on there, you'll see there's a big gash. There, you can just see on this corner here, there, a bolt's hit it, and the bolt has come from here that holds that sprocket on. Look at that. So now that sprocket would have stayed on there because this sits on there, so that's like a guide thing. It stops it bouncing up and down, I think. So that's why the chain didn't come off, but obviously that just spun round. I don't know if I can get it off or not, but that's just been spinning round. That one's still on, but that is loose. So that would have happened at some point as well. And if we look here, these, you might be able to see it better from that side. If I start unscrewing it with me, there like that, you can just see in the middle. I'll screw it back up again. That one's loose as well. So what's happened is the engine's been running, this bolt's come out, splattered against that guard, and I think now that the ball has gone down there. So what I'll do is quickly show you down there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see down there or not, but that's where I think the bolt has gone. It's gone somewhere down there, look, and I think it's ended up in the sump, which is there. Now I've got to confirm all this. Oops. And the only way to do it is to, well, strip the engine, I suppose, take the head off and stuff. Now I'm hoping that the valves aren't bent or there isn't an hole in the piston, but you'd never know with these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the oil, take the sump off and see if there's anything in the bottom of the sump. If I can find the bolts intact, then, well, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for one of them, but not as long. So that's the sort of thing I'm looking for, and I'm hoping there's going to be two of them in the bottom because they're both off. So what I'll do is I'll get back to you when I've drained the oil and I'm just about to take the sump off. If I can find these two bolts in the sump full, i.e. not ground down to a pulp or whatever, then I'm hoping they've just dropped straight down into the thing, and then that's what I'll have to test the valves then. So this was only going to be a quick video on how to clean an engine. It's going to be a long video, probably stripping it down, at least taking the head and the barrels off, just to double check everything. Right, I'll give you another shout when I've drained the oil. I've got the sump off, and in there are bits of broken bolts. These are the bolts that held the cam sprocket on. The oil looks horrible. You can feel gritty stuff in there, and those are the bolts there. So as you can see, it's had a bit of a clattering in the engine. God knows what that's off. And there's some bits there. I'm just wondering what to do now. I don't know whether to take it outside and try and flush the inside of the engine somehow to try and get all the bits out, but I think I'm going to have to take the head off or something. Anyway, the first thing I need to do is clean that sump, get rid of all that crap, wash it out and just put it back on to protect that lot. So I'll get back to you when I've done that. Right, quick update. I've got one of them magnetic telescopic things and I wanted to check what these bits were. Now I'm holding the magnetic pen thing above these bits and nothing's happening at all, so that must mean it's aluminium. Whereas if I hold it above the bolts, they're steel. So it looks like there's something that's aluminium from inside the engine that's broken off. Right, I've had the sump off, I've cleaned it out, I've put the sump back in. I found several bits of metal in the bottom of the sump. It was a bit slimy as well, and I've found where the bolts have hit. If you look, there, you can just see there, that's where one of the bolts has hit, and it's hit there as well. So those are where the bits of aluminium must be from. So there's that there, look, and there's that in there. Now the sprocket, if you look at that hole there, you can see that it's elongated where the bolt has been bent. The same with that one there, look, it looks like more like a key shape rather than a round shape. I can't use that again, I don't think. Look at that there, that's gashed as well. The camshaft doesn't look actually too bad. Now this is the inlet cam. There's a bit of a mark in there by my thumb, obviously where something's hit it. So the inlet cam has got 3 lobes per cylinder. Now I'm just going to have to double check everything. There are the buckets. Be careful also when you're taking the cams out. See these here, these locating pegs. Another one there, look. 2 there. Another one there. Well, there should be one there. There should be one there. And there should be one there. They're actually stuck on there. It probably will come loose, but you can just see it there. Whatever you do, don't drop them in the engine. I've left them like that with the bolts, so I know exactly which cap goes where and which bolts go where. Although you can see down there it says in with a little arrow and there's a number 1. Same there, that says inlet. Now it looks like somebody's had this off because that says a number 2 there, but somebody scribbled, I don't know what the hell that is, whereas that says number 3 and that one says number 4. So my main objective now, I think, oh, this is the cam chain, look, you can't really see down there, but that's where it goes. I need to clean this up, clean that up. I really don't want to take the head off, but I'm going to have to do, I think, because there's no way of checking if the valves are bent or not. So what I could do, I suppose, is temporarily put the cam back on, put it back in the head, time it up and just try and turn it over by hand. Anyway, I'll decide what to do in the next video.